Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to the Pitch Reel. Now, if you've been following us with this kind of mini-series I'm doing on my channel for the last couple of days, you know that what I'm doing is basically I'm bringing on a whole bunch of different DBZ tubers, or, just Dragon Ball tubers. Honestly, I'm just kind of all over the place with this. But anyway, DB tubers to come on and tell us their most ideal, perfect pitch for a Slice of Life episode. And today, I'm joined by World King Kanji. Kanji, why don't you say hello?
Hey man, I actually waited for you to get your intro done this time. See, that's respect from my side right there.
Respect for the mini-series, guys. We appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it. But anyway, I'm just gonna hand the baton over to Kanji. I want him to tell us exactly what he wants to happen in this particular episode of his. And, at the same time, I'm gonna jump in afterwards and we're gonna just discuss it a little bit. So Kanji, why don't you just, start us off?
Yeah, no worries, man. I gotta say, I actually was really, pumped for this idea when we got talking about it and stuff, so I hope you guys are pretty into this as well. But my ideal Slice of Life episode would revolve around Vegeta. And what I would like to do with it is between whatever how many arcs we have and then the Omniverse tournament, I'd probably stick it somewhere between there. And what I would do is, the episode would open, and we'd see Universe 6's planet Sadal, and it had a problem. And the Saiyans are starting to become enslaved by somebody of, Frieza and Frost's race. Again, I still don't know if they have a correct name besides, Frost Demon, which I don't like. But anyway, so straight off the bat, we're starting to see them being, lugged around and whatnot, and they're being given this new armor and everything, and a lot of them are sort of starting to think, I don't like the way this is going. And, of course, Cabba gets completely, rubbed the wrong way by this, turns into a Super Saiyan and starts trying to fight them. And he's completely outclassed, and he's taken prisoner for rebellion. And then, as he's being dragged away, as he's being taken prisoner, he starts shouting to the remaining Saiyans, Vegeta from Universe 7, he'll save us, you need to contact him straight away. And, the rest of the Saiyans aren't really sure what to do, because Cabba is, the only Super Saiyan among them. And they're a bit sort of okay, we'll see what we can do. And a couple of the Saiyans started to, take it on board, and they're really Cabba wouldn't lie to us or whatever. If he says this guy will, he really will do. He must have been somebody that he met with Champa or something. So they start trying to find ways to get in touch with Champa, and he gets in contact with them, and he agrees to go to Universe 7 to pass on the message at hopes of getting some nice new food out of the matter. I've already said that I like the idea of the Earth that got wished back for him by Beerus doesn't actually have any people on it. So the time that Champa actually goes there, there's no food there whatsoever. So he's So the chance to go to Universe 7's Earth is actually quite a good one for him, in my opinion. But anyway, he explains the situation to Bulma and Vegeta and Trunks, and Vegeta agrees and decides to go with them. Bulma and Trunks sort of okay, we'll tag along, because, they're interested. Bulma wants to, for scientific purposes, go and see what another universe is like, and Trunks is just, way family trip. So that's my idea for them going along. Upon arrival, they're treated like royalty by the remaining Saiyans, and they're not really sure how to react to it. They're having nice foot rubs and everything immediately, and food's being shoved in their face, and they're a bit okay, all right. And they obviously, after pampering them for a little while, they decide to sort of bite the bullet and ask Vegeta to take care of it. And he stands up with a stern look on his face, and he agrees as a chance to kind of show off. And without any further ado, Vegeta finds them and just wipes the floor with all of the bad guys. No hesitation, there's no fight, it's just literally, he just beats the crap out of them all. And all the Saiyans are just jaw-dropped, looking at everything that this guy is capable of doing. And the remaining soldiers are scared, and they try and fly off. Vegeta shoots a couple of them down and just laughs about it. Cabba's rescued, and the Saiyans of Sadal honor Vegeta and his family. And then, just to make sure that nothing like this happens again, Vegeta teaches Cabba the ritual of the Super Saiyan God. And they're all, stood in awe of doing that. And, I think it's a nice kind of ideal way that Vegeta can pass on his knowledge and makes him look almost, godly to them, in more ways of just turning Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. But anyway, I digress. They erect a statue of him and vow to rename their planet Vegeta, which obviously gets them to the point where we were, but in a completely alternate reality, which I quite like the idea of. So they name their planet Vegeta, and they start to refer to him as King Vegeta. So Vegeta is no longer a prince. He's finally achieved that king status, and he starts to, like, appreciate, with all the Saiyans chanting King Vegeta at him and everything, and gets a little bit of that smirk on his face, as if to kind of go, you know what, this is a bit what it would have been like if I'd become the king of my own planet. And I like the idea of that, whilst, Bulma and Trunks look on proud while everyone's cheering for him. Trunks is obviously like, that's my dad, that's pretty cool. Everybody thinks finally Vegeta's as cool as he thinks he is. And that's pretty much what I would do with it. And then towards the end, Bulma would kind of interrupt Vegeta just as he's basking in the glory of it and remind him that they have to get back in time to prepare for the Omniversal Tournament. And that's kind of where, they'd head back, and that's where the episode would end. But that's kind of what I would do with it anyway. That's my ideal slice of life episode.
Yeah. Oh man. I hope everyone liked that. Go down in the comment section below and tell us if you would really like to see that. Especially, I think my favorite thing there is actually like renaming Planet Sadal Planet Vegeta, and just kind of making that full circle type of, like, not necessarily, they're not mirror verses to the most degree, but, just making that kind of a mirrored image of how they got there and why. And it's not bloody per se. I mean, it is kind of bloody, but it's not it's more
playfully
peaceful.
Yeah, it's more playfully bloody. I didn't intend it to be like a serious fight. I literally think Vegeta would kind of get up and just literally knee one of them in the stomach or something, and they sort of like drop to their knees, and they're sort of like, "Whoa!" And Vegeta's just kind of looking down, really disappointed, as if to kind of go, "Is this what I got dragged out here for?" It wouldn't be bloody in my opinion. He'd literally just one-shot most of them, but yeah.
No, I completely understand where you're coming from, and then, honestly, the one thing I kind of like there, and I know you're not necessarily putting this out there to be like one way or the other, but the one thing I really like there is, like, there's kind of like Bulma has to tell Vegeta it's time to go, and he's kind of probably, at that point, like, Vegeta, we know his history and everything, and especially where he's at in this entire series, where he's becoming more of a family man and stuff. But he also somewhat has that pride left, and just to be in that situation and feel that pride that he would have from, like, all these Saiyans basically treating him like a king, treating him like a god or something of this nature. And he's kind of torn out of it from his Earthling wife, who insists that they go back to Earth, is, even if it is like a small slice of life moment that doesn't have much weight for the rest of the series, it would still be that little bit of, this is not your life anymore, and you need to accept that.
Yeah, no, I like that, yeah.
And just seeing him, even if it's just like an instantaneous, just shrug it off, and as only Vegeta can do, and just kind of go home with everyone, instead of, remaining there, or having the determination to remain there and just kind of be just kind of be the king of this planet,
Yeah, no, totally. And the other thing that I'd quite like about the idea as well is it kind of continues the ideal of Vegeta being Cabba's trainer to a degree, like, teaching him bits and pieces. So because this is before the Omniverse tournament, in my imagination, this would give Cabba a reason to keep the Super Saiyan God transformation and, like, learn from that, and then go into the tournament stronger, for their final kind of rematch sort of thing. That's what I would quite like. It kind of ties them together in a way.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely understand that, man. I think that's a really, really good idea in terms of actually being able to come back and maybe even do, like, this is kind of the same thing that a lot of people would really like to see. Like, I think people would like to see this as a major arc more than just like an episode, and I think that's the only small thing I would put out there, is like a lot of people want a Planet Sadal arc, because it was something that was promised to us during the Universal Tournament, and we haven't necessarily gotten it yet. So I think people are really clamoring for an idea like this, like Vegeta going to Planet Sadal and meeting all these Universe 6 Saiyans, something that he's never really had before. And you're just sitting there telling everyone, no, it could be done in one episode. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna be reacting to that.
I mean, the thing is, they're kind of like, even if they did, like, there's not a whole lot they could do with it unless it's something completely disregarding to the fact they're on planet Sadal, because the Saiyans aren't particularly, they're strong, but they're not particularly, majorly strong, because these guys, there's only one Super Saiyan on the entire planet. And aside from that, the fact that Vegeta just can one-shot him and everything like that, it's not like they're going to have, and sorry Broly fans, it's not like there's going to be a Broly on the planet or something, unless it's a joke. Unless it is a joke, you know what I mean? Like, one of them gets really, crazy powered or something, and he starts to look a bit like Broly, and then one of them just kind of one-shots him, and it's almost a bit of a tongue-in-cheek nod to everybody. But, aside from, there's not a whole lot they can really do with it. I mean, because we're already Saiyaned out, let's be honest. There's so many Saiyans in this series, and if they spend too long on Planet Sadal, we're only going to introduce more Saiyans to it that have emotional value and depth. Cabba had suggested he wanted Vegeta to meet the king. He never really said anything else that should have been going on, so I think they could do all of this in the one episode, and the king of Planet Sadal could possibly be the one that passes the crown to Vegeta before they start referring to him as King Vegeta. So, it's my opinion of it, and that's kind of the way I would like to do it anyway.
I think it would be funny, even though there's no relation, and we really shouldn't be discussing this. I just wanted to make it really clear that there'll be no relation. They're not the same character, but if the king was named Kakarot or something very close.
Yeah. And then Vegeta's eyes kind of open. He's like, what?
He just gets super angry.
Yeah, he just doesn't like him. It's turns away.
Yeah, he's doesn't like him, and it kind of harks back to that line where Cabba's like, man, you remind me of our king. He's a great man too. And he just kind of gets mad about that.
Yes, this is the guy you were comparing me to? I can't believe it. But that would be hilarious. I'd love that.
Yeah. Anyway, man, I think we basically talked this one throughout, and I feel like this is something that's really interesting, and I hope you guys are really liking this short little mini series on my channel, just so we'll sit around, you get to see what all your favorite YouTubers actually think about certain characters, people they'd like to see more of, and just generally something that Dragon Ball Super could do, but we're probably never really going to get to see, so you get a lot of people's different ideas and interpretations of certain things. So anyway, Kanji, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your idea.
No, cheers, man, for having me on. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a nice little break from the usual stuff that we tend to do, so this has been really good, man.
Yeah.
Props to the series idea.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, if this all worked out, honestly, and I'll cut this if we just don't, but guys, I just want to say, if you've enjoyed these little, screenshots that are on this video, to kind of illustrate exactly what we're talking about, please go make sure to check out Kanji and his work. I mean, he does some really, truly amazing work, very funny work on his channel. He's very talented. All the artwork that's not just a plain image from Dragon Ball Super or something, which he has some. You don't say you don't. But he makes a lot of really interesting, really good art that he puts on his thumbnails, he puts on his videos and stuff. He gives you guys something, more entertaining to look at that's not necessarily just plain old footage from the show or just clips from the show. So please
Bro, my head
sure
can't fit any bigger in this room right now.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, guys, we really do hope you've enjoyed this one. Please make sure to go check out Kanji and check out me. Subscribe to me, because I'm going to be bringing you more of these things to come and a lot more other stuff. We have a lot of fun on this channel. So anyway, guys, we'll catch y'all in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.